And a very good morning to you. This is the Talk of the Town. My guest today is all about digital, cyber security specialist, Asela Waidyalankara. Very good morning to you, young man.
Very good morning, Faraz, and thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now tell me, not enough we are suffering and trying to come out of the worst possible economic crisis that this country has ever known, thanks to mismanagement and a total lack of proper governance and so on and so forth. The people are rather put out. They can't even protest because, they're being threatened with all sorts of things. And now to add to all these things, there's this talk of a cyber security bill. Do we need it? What will it do? Is it good? Is it bad? Will they lock me up under this act? Whatever. So many questions. Start telling me the answers, young man, please.
First of all, I don't foresee a situation where you will get locked up, Faraz. It'll be a challenge to anyone trying to lock you up. Once again, thank you for having me. This is part of the wider push for technology regulation in Sri Lanka. We saw it happening last year as well with the Personal Data Protection Act. And right now, what we have is the cybersecurity bill that is open for public consultation. What this bill would envisage is to establish a cybersecurity agency within the country, which will be the main policy body to direct all matters cybersecurity. To answer your question, the timing of it, why, I would beg to differ, because we are looking at reconfiguring the thrusts of our economy. And I personally believe technology will play a major part of that in transforming how organizations do business, as well as becoming a forex earner for Sri Lanka. Right now, ICT industry is number 4 in the forex earning rankings, which will probably increase as we go on. But in order for us to do this, we need to make sure that we are globally attractive to the world. In order for us to become attractive and to become a voice globally, we need to make sure that there is domestic legislation that is compliant to global standards. And how we do that is partially with data privacy protections, which we have under the Personal Data Protection Act, and secondly, under this cyber security bill. What will happen is this will make it more attractive for global organizations to consider Sri Lanka as an investment destination, because I know very well that there has been sort of doubts in investors' mind to invest in countries like Sri Lanka because there is a lack in cybersecurity legislation, in data privacy legislation, which the policymakers are trying to fix here.
I would say that on a wider scale, potential investors in our country and existing entrepreneurs and corporate Sri Lanka are concerned about how public appointments are made. Is there meritocracy? Is there pragmatism? Is there honesty? Is there security of tenure for these people under this act when they set up this commission or this authority? Will these people have independence? Will they have security of tenure? Because otherwise, when the president wakes up and he decides he wants them out, they'll be out. That shouldn't be the case.
I agree with you there, Faraz. Government policy or the policy direction shouldn't change when there is a change of leadership or a change of the presidency.
That's been the perennial problem in our country.
And absolutely. And this is where we have so many inconsistent policies. It's sort of a Frankenstein approach that you've taken to policy in this country. And that is something that we need to avoid, especially when it comes to the digital or technology policies that we need to foster to make sure that we are competitive globally. To answer your question, there are certain words and there are certain safeguards built in the bill itself to ensure that there are meritocracy is considered and the industry is consulted and considered. However, we as the industry, we are thankful that there's been a public consultation of it where the industry, cybersecurity industry in particular, was asked to make representations. And in that particular instance, we also made some comments, constructive feedback to ensure that there is security of tenure, the policy consistency to be there, and to ensure that the experts are picked from the industry. And then these are industry professionals that will take, positions.
So meritocracy, pragmatism,
Absolutely.
And hopefully honesty will follow from those other two.
Honesty and, basically the proper policies, the consistent policies, especially in the technology field, is absolutely required. We've seen it. We've seen the vacuum in other areas and we've seen how it impacts our organizations.
Can I ask you this question before we go? Because, people will stop me in the street and ask me this and I want to know the answer before all this. In under this cybersecurity bill, is there hidden away somewhere that gives powers to the government, to various agencies, to track me using my phone or something like that?
Not specifically mentioned in this.
Is it hidden away somewhere?
No, actually.
Are you sure?
In my reading, yes.
Yes, in underneath, in the fine print.
Fortunately for everyone, we have professionals looking at it. I myself have gone through this.
And you, as a professional, can assure me that there's nothing in the cybersecurity bill that could be used by the various agencies that monitor us from time to time for them to make it easier to say, but, under the cybersecurity bill, I can do this and I can do that. And so, tough luck, you.
Actually, on the contrary, the bill emphasizes that this is a civilian agency. I think that is very important, even in our standing in the international community, that this is emphasized, that this agency is a civilian agency. There are civilians that are appointed to this agency, and there is oversight. And of course, on top of the board of directors, there will be an advisory body, again made out of industry professionals and subject matter experts. So I view this as a purely technical and technologically centric exercise. However, if there is any indication that there will be an abuse of power, I believe...
Like Big Brother looking down on us.
I believe the professionals